Prepare for a fusion of knowledge and exhilaration where education and excitement collide.
Taking you on an adventure that expands your mind and speaks to your spirit.
I'm Master Nick.
I'm Lady Dee.
We are the Dom Life.
This podcast contains sexually explicit topics and adult content.
It is intended for listeners 18 and older.
The opinions expressed in this podcast are ours alone, based on our personal thoughts, feelings, and experiences.
We understand that others may have different opinions and experiences, and we respect that. We would love to hear from you. You can reach out to us at www.thedomlife.com. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Dom Life podcast. And look who we finally have back sitting in here with us.
Yay, I'm so glad I'm back.
So I'm sure a lot of you, if you're listening to this episode, you are already familiar from previous episodes or from the social media platforms that the issue that Lady Dee's been having with the car accident that she had going on 3 weeks ago now. It's been
3 weeks tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we figured
it would be a good time to A, give everybody an update.
Yep.
And B, talk about how outside forces can impact your DS dynamic.
Yeah. We definitely had to put all that on pause for a little while.
Yeah. So in case you weren't part of our social media and you don't actually know what was going on, this is a little emotional for me. Forgive me. I was rear-ended. I was stopped to turn left into our neighborhood area on a very busy main street that had a speed limit, I think, of somewhere between 45 and 55.
The speed limit is 55.
Yeah.
However, if you do 55, you will soon find a big line of traffic behind you.
Yeah.
So a lot of people exceed the 55.
Right. So I was stopped. There is no turn lane. I was stopped to turn into our neighborhood, which I do every single day and have for the 3 or 4 years we've been here.
Yep.
And the car behind me had looked up and I'd seen him far enough back that I thought, cool, we're good. He's going to see me because I'm stopped. He did not see me in all the time that I was stopped waiting for a break in traffic. And I looked up behind me and all I saw was a car coming at me really fast. So no brakes, never broke, never stopped, just hit me at 50 plus miles per hour, which pushed me into the oncoming traffic. And I got hit again from the front at, again, 50 miles per hour. My son was in the car with me, and thankfully, I make him pull and lock his seat belt because he's still in a booster seat. And he got a bump on his head and a little scratch there. But other than that, no damage, some bruises on his hips because of the seatbelt. But other than that, no, he was perfectly good, was released, was seen again a week later by his pediatrician office, and they released him as well. So he had no lasting anything. I, on the other hand, sustained a lot of damage. Thankfully, none of the damage was at the time life-threatening.
Correct.
None of it required surgeries, which we've reconfirmed.
Yep.
All of the damage were fractures and all of it, and bruises, stuff like that, but the fractures are the worst. I had something along the lines of 16 fractured bones. And it just takes time. Your body just takes the time to heal. Some of what we had been doing beforehand was getting ourselves in shape.
Yeah. We've been since April.
Since April.
In April, started working out, started a workout routine, and then July started a really serious diet nutrition program where we significantly lost a lot of weight,
Yes.
trying to get ourselves prepared for the photo shoot that we did for the cover of Alt Life magazine,
Yay.
which was their September issue. So yeah, we was doing all of that, getting ourselves in shape, toning ourselves up, seeing a change in our bodies already. So yes, that has helped
And
with the
everybody
recovery.
said that it would make a big difference both within the accident itself and the recovery time
Right.
for it. The fact that we had gotten ourselves in shape and,
Yep.
bones were getting enough protein and our diet was well. So
Right.
I have 5 ribs, all the ones on the right side, lower side were broken in a row. They had fractures. 2 of them had multiple fractures in the same rib. Those are in the back.
Yep.
I can feel it when I'm in the car or I'm driving.
You're not driving.
No, when I'm a passenger princess in a car that you're driving, because
Yeah.
I am not driving. I do not have a vehicle because my vehicle was totaled.
Yep.
Um, I had fractures in I have multiple fractures in my pelvic bone that causes me a lot of pain.
Both on the front and the back side.
Front and the back side, left and the right side.
Yep.
So, and I had massive contusions from the seat belt across my lap. And then my knee was bothering me. And of course, they're like, hey, that's an extremity. We're not even worried about that
Yeah.
because that is not life threatening. But we think it might be an MCL tear. But again, we're not even going to deal with that while you're in the hospital, which was a multiple day hospital stay. Like, we're not going to um, deal with that. So I started out at Norton's Children's, Women and Children's, and then once they realized I had a pelvic fracture, which took them many hours to figure out. Once they figured that out, they wanted me immobilized and moved to U of L trauma. So U of L trauma deals with this in a much larger manner, and they wanted to make sure that everything was good. And I almost had to have surgery, but I guess my fracture is in a stable location
Yep.
and it didn't require
It
surgery.
hasn't shifted. It hasn't caused any shift. There's everything's still in line.
It's
It
slightly
is fractured,
displaced,
right?
but
Slightly
not,
displaced, nothing serious. So yeah, they did not see if surgery was needed.
yeah. And then my knee, when I finally got in for an MRI, I actually had an MRI done on my pelvic a week later, basically at my primary care doctor said, hey, let's do this in advance of your ortho appointment. And so I had a pelvic MRI done and on my left knee, and the pelvic found the left side fractures that were missed in the x-rays. But again, they're stable.
Yep.
It's not going to shift or anything. And then my knee had 2 fractures,
Yep.
one in the tibia
Yep.
and fibula.
Yep. Right up where it connects to the bone, to your kneecap.
Uh-huh.
There is some fractures there.
And then there's also a tear in my MCL and a partial tear in my MCL and a tear in my ACL. So, all that.
Plus the 2 fractured vertebrae,
Oh yeah, I got
L4 and L5
L-
fractured vertebrae.
and there's a bulging disc in there, and there's something else, but those might recover themselves. They
Right.
said, that was the trauma in my body that caused this, but it could go down when the swelling goes down and stuff like that. So, fingers crossed. None of it required an operation, which, of course, you're out of the hospital in a couple of days and you're supposed to be recovering, which is great because I am. But in the space of somebody being distracted for minutes, my life has changed drastically, right?
Yep.
I haven't worked in 3 weeks. I don't know when I'm going back to work. I'm going to have physical therapy starting, so that's good news. That's road to recovery. But it's terrifying still for me. getting in the car is scary because we know how many people are distracted drivers.
Yes.
And it can happen anywhere, anytime. And that's something you have to accept and deal with. And right now, having this much trauma in my body, the idea of another accident is pretty
Right.
terrifying.
And then also on that, I mean, I know there's statistics and they always say accidents happen when you're closest to home. You was 6 minutes
6 minutes.
from the house.
Yep. And I do this drive Monday through Friday, every day. I mean, obviously, we are now looking at an alternate path because I don't believe that I could stop there each day waiting to turn left.
Right.
So I'm going to make some changes to my actual
Yep.
route once I get back into work.
And then to add on, not only was you in the accident, but the day of your accident, I was traveling.
Yeah, it
And an
was terrifying.
hour prior to your accident, 1 hour earlier, I was checking into a hotel in Wisconsin.
Yep.
I was 6.5 hours away.
Yes.
I got an alert on my phone at the hotel, an alert that I have never seen before, an alert that I didn't even know existed. And it came from your watch, your Apple Watch, triggered the collision and sent me a text that said, crash detected. You know, you're getting this because you're an emergency contact in this phone. And it sent me a pin location. And then, of course, immediately I try calling.
And
But due to the collision,
I was awake and aware, and my phone wasn't by me. So I heard it ring.
yep,
But I, for people who have never been in an accident where airbags deployed, it's terrifying because the airbags deploy and they let off a chemical smell
dust.
and smoke. Like I thought my engine was on fire because of the smoke, the amount of smoke that
Right.
was in
Well,
the
it's not smoke. It doesn't, but it's the dust. It's the dust that they pack these airbags in to allow them to inflate at a certain speed, what they have to do.
right.
So there is a powdery dust that is on. It looks like smoke.
It looks like smoke, and I had the obviously with the fractures in my ribs all on my right side. We believe that might have been from the console.
Yeah, you destroyed the console.
Just destroyed it with my side. But I got the air knocked out of me like when you were a kid and you fell on your back and you couldn't get your breath
Right.
back, but it was like 100 times worse and I couldn't get my breath back. And when I finally did, I was breathing and all that stuff.
Yep.
So it was, the phone was there ringing. I couldn't reach it, couldn't. So people were outside of the vehicle already. And I pointed it and I said, I need to call my husband. Can you reach into that side of my vehicle? And he's traveling and I need to get a hold of him because I now have a 10-year-old in my back seat.
Yeah.
And I am knowing that I'm injured. I'm going to the hospital. Now I got to figure out what to do about my son because I know I'm going to be in the hospital.
Right.
And that I'm injured. I mean, I could feel my ribs grinding. So I knew that there was injury.
Right.
And I couldn't stand or move. My hips couldn't move. So I knew there was some problems. And so I stayed very calm, which is not normal, I guess. Like people tend to be a little bit more hysterical than I was, but I have a child who has some special needs and I had to stay calm for him. And so that's what I did. So when I got a hold of the phone, I realized my thumb was injured and the back of my hand was injured and holding it was really not easy. But I got a hold of you.
Yep.
I called you and I just let you know that I had been in a serious wreck and I'm injured. I don't know the extent of my injuries, but I know that I'm hurt inside.
Right.
That I've got some ribs broken and for sure. And I just,
Right. So shout out to our neighbor who is a really close friend of ours that listens to the podcast. Shout out to her. I was able to call her. She was home. She works from home. She clocked out. She sent her manager a message. Emergency came up, clocked out. and was able to make the 6-minute drive down to get to
She
you
did
all.
she did say that you said, "Please go get Dee because she's been in an accident. Go get her." And then she said, as she's driving down there with all the traffic being rerouted, she realized that getting me wasn't going to be an option.
Right. I was wanting her to get there for the kid. I
Right,
knew you was hurt, but I didn't
right.
know, and I knew if once they separated you all, it was going to be bad. But yeah, so that's how it all started 3 weeks ago tomorrow. But in the 3 weeks, I mean, there's been a lot of pain. There's been a lot of frustration. There's been a lot of tears. There's been a lot of communication. But you are doing better.
I'm doing way better. I mean,
You're
there's a
up.
long road
They're
of
all You've got
recovery.
months in front of you still to be fully recovered, yes, but you are able to get around a lot easier with the help of a walker.
Yes, sir.
Um, you're able to move around the house.
I can bend over and I can actually raise my hands above my
Yep,
head, which were things I could not do in the first
yep.
week.
Parking garages are still a struggle for you to walk due to the inclines, but
Yeah.
inside the house, you are able to get up and move freely without any assistance other than the help of your walker.
Yep.
You're able to go to the bathroom. You're able to go to the kitchen. You're able
Sit
to
up.
get in and out of the shower.
Yep.
We've got your shower stool in there, so you're able to get in and out of the shower.
Yeah.
So you are making improvements. You are getting better. But again, it's still going to be a long, painful road.
Yeah.
Physical therapy is going to intensify that pain some. They're going to want you moving stuff that you don't want to move right now because it hurts.
Right.
But so you're still got a big, long, rough road ahead of you, but thankful you're back in that chair today.
Yeah. 100%. And then we talk about, like we were talking about doing this episode, and obviously it's not just about me being injured, but it's about our whole life
Yeah.
because
I mean, our whole world's fucked up right now.
yeah, it got blew up pretty hard. Like that accident took out so many pieces and parts of our worlds
Yep.
because I'm not driving. I don't have a car. There was a whole routine set up with my life
Right.
that is currently being carried by you because I can't do it. So we
Right.
wanted to talk about how outside forces can impact your DS relationship. Because really, do we have a DS relationship
Not
right
at the
now?
moment right now. No,
I mean, a lot. So,
I've been the dominant of myself. I've been the submissive. I've been the switch. I've been the slave. I've been the I've kind of hit every fucking role here myself
yep.
in a BDSM dynamic.
And it's really amazing and difficult because I'm the one that's injured, and everybody acknowledges that injury. Like, "Oh my god, how are you doing?" Or,
Right.
"Oh my god, is there anything I can do for you?" And, "Oh my god." But one of the things they don't think about is the fact that you were impacted not physically, but just as bad
Right.
mentally and just as bad in our worlds
Right.
because you had to take over all of the roles
Yep.
since the
I
accident.
mean, so I have to get up earlier than normal to drive 35 minutes in the opposite direction that I normally do to make sure the kiddo gets on the school bus, which now puts me getting to work about an hour to an hour and a half later. So therefore, I have to stay later in the day than I normally do.
And then go
But I
drive.
have to make sure I leave at a reasonable time because now I've got to drive all the way back past our house, go the opposite direction to pick him up.
Yep.
So I'm getting up earlier, I'm driving twice as much, and I'm getting home later.
Yep.
And it has, our workout routines used to start at 5. We would
Yes.
we would all be home around 5.
No workout
We would
routines have
start
been
our
done in a
workout
bit.
routines. I'm not getting home till 5:30, almost 6 some days,
Homework is still necessary.
and we still have to eat. And then there's all the other chores that normally get done between one of us throughout the day. And it's,
Yeah. It's been a struggle. So let's start with you being a dominant. Like, how did that, let's go back to when I was in the hospital. How was that impacting you? You're the dominant in this relationship. You finally get to the hospital. Tell me how being a dominant impacted or didn't impact you while you were dealing with the emergency situation while we were at the hospitals.
well, and again, every dominant is different. And I've talked about traits that I see that are needed to be a good dom. And again, my opinions, you can't Google and say, what traits do I need to be a good dom? You're going to get a list a mile long. But there are certain traits that I see in myself and I see in our friends that are doms that we all kind of share those same traits. The biggest impact for me as a dominant was I was helpless.
Yep.
There was nothing I could do to make anything better. So I felt like I was backed into a corner with no way out.
Yep.
And it was the anger
I saw that a couple
from
of times. Not at me, but I saw your anger.
what happened. For one, I'm angry because it happened. And then, while at the hospital, I mean, everybody was doing, I have no complaints from the hospital, not one bit. The doctors and the nurses, to me, done everything they possibly could to keep the pain down and to inform us, but I was still angry.
Right. Right. It
And
was brutal.
the temper that I used to have several years ago that you never got to witness, and the work that I'd done to extend the fuse on my temper, because it used to be very fucking short.
Mine was too, so good thing we didn't know each other then.
Yeah, um, that was gone.
Right.
It wasn't taking much for me to feel that I'm fixing to explode,
Right.
but trying my damnedest to fight back to keep from exploding.
Yes. Yeah.
I look back on it now and I'm like, that was minor shit. But it was all of that emotion rolling into one that at the time didn't seem minor.
Right.
It was a big deal.
There's some, there, like, we talk, and I agree 100% that U of L trauma did an amazing job in
Huge.
terms of
Yes.
doctors and the care that they give.
Yep, I agree.
I would say that there were some concerns at Norton that we ran into.
There was concerns from the minute the crash happened until you got to U of L.
Yeah,
In my eyes.
there were some things that shouldn't have been done or should have been not asked of me to do, like stand up and walk.
There was a lot of protocols that are set in the medical field that have been set as a protocol for many years.
Yep.
And for those of you that don't know, I'm not just shooting off at my mouth. I was a volunteer firefighter for 20 plus years. I was an EMT for 10 plus years. I've had the training. I've been through all this. It has been several years ago since I've got out of it, but to hear that certain protocols that I feel should be standard that got missed, that didn't get done, that got overlooked, that got thrown out the window.
Yeah. Which I know you are the kind of stand up person. You're going to speak directly with the people that need to hear that these were, but it's not in a way of, there was no damage done to me as a result.
Correct.
This is not, we want to sue or anything like that. He just wants to make sure.
My concerns for the next person.
Yep.
If these protocols, if these standards are not followed, that bad things could happen.
Yep. And
And
it didn't with me, and I'm
that's what I want to
very,
prevent.
yeah. So you were also dealing with anger and being upset while at the
Oh
hospital,
yeah.
just because the person that you care for and take care of and that's under your, you
Yeah.
know, is now in terrible pain,
Yep.
injured,
And I'm helpless. There's nothing I can do.
right?
I might as well have been wearing your cuffs with them tied behind my back because I can't do shit.
But you did because you stayed by my side 24/7. You did not
Yep.
leave my side. We made arrangements for my son that
Yep.
were pretty normal for him, didn't feel weird. He was
Right.
comfortable. We knew he was safe and he was good. So your goal was to ensure my mental health, my well-being, and you stayed and slept in a big plastic chair.
I wouldn't call that sleep
No, no.
because there wasn't much on the first night.
So, um,
But not only that, they thought you was going to have surgery.
yes,
They wouldn't let you eat.
right. So you
So
didn't eat.
I didn't eat because the last thing I'm going to do is sit in front of you and eat something. I mean, I had meals. I was traveling. I had a cooler full of our meals, our meal planning. I had them in the truck.
Right.
So I could have had a good, healthy meal. You could have had a good, healthy meal, but they didn't want you eating.
Because the surgery
And
was the next
therefore,
morning.
I'm not going to eat it in front of you. I'm not going to leave you to go eat because then something will happen and I don't know where you're at.
Yep.
So, yeah, it was,
It was a couple of days of really kind of crazy. And I do want to say shout out to U of L and Norton's for dealing with all the crazy people that are out there because man, we had interactions
yeah,
with
we heard it.
we heard it. And I am so thankful that, you know, we had good care.
Yeah.
So being a dominant, you were suddenly not, you still had to maintain your cool. You still had to do all these things while at the hospital. And I'm in recovery mode. My goal, once they determined that I wasn't going to have surgery, was to get out of that hospital as quickly as possible
Yeah.
because hospitals are not a place of healing. Hospitals are where they put you back together again to send you home so that you can heal
Yeah.
in your own home or in an environment that's a little bit quieter and a little bit less steal my blood every time I blink.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. We got up, I moved, I walked on the walker, knowing that all of this was coming and this is what they would need in order to get me out. So I did all the things, reduced my pain medication, did all the things.
Yep.
And then I was released to come home. And that was a nightmare getting into your truck.
Yes, it was.
I do a lot of random screaming, like my leg shifts a certain way and then I do a quick shout and then it settles out and I'm okay again. But that was pretty rough just getting me home. Then once we get home, the hospital for me was the easiest time in terms of our dynamic, our
Yeah.
relationship
Yeah.
because
Because if you needed something, there was a nurse or there was somebody there that would, the times that I tried to do it, I was told no by the nursing staff. No, you sit there. We get that. Oh, you need to go to the bathroom. I'm going to help you. No, we have to help her.
right.
And so I'm just getting told no on everything.
Until they figured out that you were an EMT, because then
Right.
once I got up and started walking,
Yeah. Then
they
it
let
was,
you
yeah, you can do
hold
it.
it. They
Yeah.
let you, But then once we got home, I had a rude awakening because I am a service oriented sub. My goal is to take care of our house and home and you. That is part of how I feel good about myself is making sure all these things are done. And we have divided some of that because of our diet plan. We figured
Right.
out that I cannot do it all and get it done. So we had a long talk and we figured out how to divide that responsibility. But
Yep.
now I'm home sitting because that's all I can do. I cannot stand up. I mean, getting up and down was a real struggle that first 2 weeks.
Yes.
I mean, it got better in the last week, but the first 2 weeks were nightmare, groaning, struggling, and it was all I can do. And so now I'm looking around a house and I can't do any of the things. You're doing it all.
Yeah.
You've got the extra commute and you're pulling out food and you're warming it up and you're bringing it to me. And I felt like you did useless. I felt useless
Right.
that I couldn't do any of the things. And I could see your exhaustion
Yeah.
because of the extra 2 hours on your
Mentally,
commute.
physically, emotionally fucking drained.
Exhausted. And I could not see a way to help you because I'm sitting on my ass because that's what I have to do to heal.
Right.
Um, it was a struggle. It was a struggle in my own home to not be able to do any of those things. So I was no longer being the good submissive, and it made me hurt inside that my dom was so exhausted taking care of me that I didn't ask for things that I should have asked for because I knew how tired you were.
Right.
The thing is, my damage is such that I'm able to get up and move. First couple of weeks was just brutal, but then once I could, I started taking some of those
Right.
things back
You have.
because it was necessary in order for you and I to continue our worlds. Like, you
Right.
can't just sit in bed and say, oh, poor me. I have to do it. And we've
Right.
done it.
Yep.
So the easiest time was in the hospital. Once I was released from the hospital, now I'm looking at this whole world, but little by little, it's come back.
Yep. Little by little, we're getting there.
And our routines are coming back. I'm getting up in the morning, and I've done that for the last week. Got
Yep.
up in the morning, put together your lunch, which was already pre-made, so it's
Yeah,
just
it's just
sticking everything. Shut up.
taking it out of the refrigerator and putting it in the lunch.
But
Yes.
I do it
Right.
because that's part of our whole world routine,
Right.
and it makes me feel good that I was able to do this one thing for you. I can't
Yep.
do all the other yet, but here I've done this. Most of our dynamic is tied up into what? Routines
Routines. Yep.
and sex.
Yep.
So there's no sex going on. Still broken.
Yep.
It's been a while,
It's going to
sir.
be months before those legs go behind your head, I'm afraid.
Oh my God, the thought of it. You just made everything clench up inside of me. Like, yeah, no legs behind my back. I'm wondering when we'll get to the point where I'm okay to do some of the stuff that we
Right.
did before.
Well, when you're actually able to move your legs without grimacing is the time to start. But up until then, I mean, you move. I can see it in your face. You do it, but I can see there's pain there anytime you move any of your legs. So it's still going to be a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So how does that make you feel?
It fucking sucks.
I'm sorry. I'm not laughing because it's
I know.
funny.
No, it does. I mean, we've always had a good sex life. There's been times life has gotten busy and then wasn't as active as we wanted.
Yeah.
But it normally didn't take long. We was back on track and then just to cut it off.
I wasn't even aware how much time had passed. I'm just saying, but then
Right. I mean, you even look back on it and again, I've read articles and men look to sex that is their connection point with their partner. It's not that they just want sex. That is how men emotionally connect.
I feel the same
with their
though.
partner. Right. But for most women don't have that, which is why you hear of the well, she won't give me none no more. Or
Yeah.
the woman says, all he does is want it all the time.
Yeah, that's
But
not us though.
that's not us. But
I
in
get it.
majority it is.
Right.
And for men, that is emotionally how we reconnect with our partners is through sex. Even the vanilla people, the men, that is how they reconnect.
Right.
And when you normally out in the world, when the woman decides all he wants is sex and she's not going to give it to him, it don't take long before the man is looking elsewhere
Right.
because there is that connection there. Put your damn fist down. We've got friends that can take care of that. We know. Um, but for men in that situation, they feel lost.
Right.
They feel something's not there, something's not right. They're not realizing it's because they're not getting sex. And they start looking to find that connection, find that missing part in their life that they're looking for. And that's where it all starts from.
Right.
So, again, it's if we was in a vanilla relationship that had no communication, that didn't talk, this would be a huge problem.
But we have
But
been
the fact that we started the BDSM lifestyle together, and we have that open communication and we can talk about it. I mean, I could call up 5 or 6 different people I can think of right now, and my needs would be met. They're in our group. They're more than willing, but I'm fine. I'm okay with it.
right.
It's an understanding that I have. You know, it sucks.
But we came up with a solution, right, Master Nick?
I think we
We
have.
have a solution. What is the solution?
I've been wanting to get pierced for a little while now, and it was trying to schedule it and time it out to where I'm going to be out of commission for at least 4 to 6 weeks, maybe more. Who knows? So it was trying to figure out when's the best time to set up the appointment to get pierced. And well, there's no better time than I'm fucking going tomorrow.
Because you're not able to have sex for a while.
Yep. So now's the perfect time. You can't have sex. I might as well make it where I can't have sex, and then we'll just deal with
dang,
it together.
that's what I'm saying.
Yep.
I'm really excited for your piercing, Master Nick.
Well, we'll see how well it goes. I'll either come back with 1 or 3. Hell, I may make it 4. I don't know. But
So our DS dynamic stopped, hard stop.
yeah.
And then slowly, as I'm healing, we're picking up pieces of it again.
Yes.
Um,
Little at a time.
just a little bit at a time because it makes me feel good. I didn't have to get up at 4:35 in the morning.
Right.
I didn't have to do that over the last week.
Right.
Like I'm home, but I did that.
Yep.
I had you put a chair in the kitchen and I cut up our
You
food.
meal prepped.
I
Yeah.
meal prepped and I put it and I cooked it in the crock pot. You have to do the grilling. Like
Right.
we've compromised on those things.
And with the help of the kid, you was able to do laundry.
Yes.
And
I have an extra
for a little bit.
pair of little arms that helped me.
You have somebody that's the right height to put the clothes in the washer and the dryer.
Right.
Whereas you was having a hard time bending over.
I couldn't. The ribs.
And I was trying to come up with a way of building a platform really quick to lift everything up so you could reach it.
Because you only had to do laundry the one weekend. And it was, man.
Between that and everything I still had to
know.
do. I mean, and luckily, or I don't think I got anything pink. I haven't found anything pink yet. So luckily,
I
that's good.
threw away a washcloth that my son had left inside the washing machine. It was like stuck to the top and he didn't check. And then when it came out with the reds, it was pink. I threw it away.
Right.
But he now understands
Right.
what happens
Right.
when you wash. I said, do you want all of your stuff pink? And he did not.
Yeah.
So there we have it. So a lot of people may not have as an extreme situation, but something like stressors at work, a new job
Yep.
where you're just not feeling it.
Yeah, and that was the other thing. So the first week I was off with you. I took off. And then having to deal with everything that you had going on, taking care of you, doing all that. But then the next week I had to go back to work.
Yes.
So now do I still not have all of that going on in my head? Now I'm bringing back the stress of work on top of it, and being at work and you sending a message and, you know, the insurance company said this, or this is what's going on. So now I'm at work dealing with work shit, still got you to worry about, and then you getting upset over something else and venting to me, all of that at once.
And then you were doing the extra commute. Thankfully, fall break fell in this, and you've had a break,
I got a
and
1 week
you
break.
are feeling better.
I
Now
feel
we're
better.
trying to find alternate solutions to
Right.
maybe the afternoon commute, having somebody help to get him home so that
Right.
you don't have to drive 35 minutes past our home to come 35 minutes back.
Right.
So we're working on it. And I think that people have to understand that there are times when a 24/7 dynamic doesn't work, that falls apart, that the things that you had in place aren't working. But the thing that I would take away from this is I still need my dominant. I still need my husband. I still need you to do all of the things that I can't do.
Right.
And in those situations, even though the dynamic isn't there, the normal routine of it, our partnership still exists in that realm.
Right.
So when you're there, you're my safety net. I used you more than normal between me and the world because that was just too much. Going to my car. I loved my car. It was like the first new off the lot car I bought. So stupid. I know it's so stupid, and it's totaled. And we had to go and clear all of my stuff out of it.
Yeah. Yes, we did.
Royal we, as I sat in the car,
As
just
you sat in the
looking
car
at it,
crying,
crying.
and me digging through,
all
pulling
of,
everything out.
all of my stuff had to come out of my car. And I mean, there were so many instances during this, and I would say that 90% of it was taken care of in a way that showed me our dynamic and our relationship works. 10% of it, I got so fucking mad at you sometimes because you were so tired and you were so exhausted.
There was times you got mad at me because I couldn't find something because it wasn't where you said it was.
Well,
Can you get me this? Yep. Where's it at? You'll find it right here. It's not here. Well, just forget it. It's not there.
Right. I'm sure.
There was times several times you got mad at me because I couldn't, and I wasn't overlooking it.
Right.
It just wasn't there.
Right. And I understand that. Like, I get it. But I was also frustrated just because I can't do it.
Right.
So while I'm giving you the directions, I mean, who thinks about where everything is in their life? You just get up, you look. If it's not there, you go look at another place that you normally put it. So there was so much that I wasn't able to do with me. Like I said, 90% of it you did above and beyond and handled it. And I think in a lot of relationships, that wouldn't be at 90%.
I would say it wouldn't be. I can look back on my past relationships and I can guarantee it wouldn't be.
So I think that the thing to take away from it is we communicate, we talk about all of the things.
Yep.
It is still a DS relationship, even if there isn't active DS stuff going on. I expected you to be between me and the rest of the world, and you were. You gave that to me.
Oh, yeah.
So when the nurses were there and I got frustrated, you got frustrated on my behalf, but you were able to stay calm and stay like, well, what can we do?
Right.
Obviously she's in pain. What can we do about it?
Yep.
Obviously she's hungry. I want to feed her.
Yeah, I just wound up going and getting you damn food that night.
You did. Because
got
it never came.
It never came.
My lunch never came. We went through hours and you finally just went and got me food.
Yep.
It was amazing.
Yep.
So, we are committed to each other, even when that commitment is hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt that. It was hard the last 3 weeks. The last couple of days have been better, but when we went to the doctor, you got so mad on my behalf because why do we set up an appointment if you're gonna be an hour late? If you're gonna have her move around and do all this stuff, she's in pain.
If you're going to set an appointment and then ask to be there 20 minutes before your appointment, and you don't even get called back to an hour after your fucking appointment, yeah, because you're not comfortable. You're in a fucking wheelchair. You've
Yeah,
got more weight on your pelvis. You're not able to recline. You're not able to relieve any of that pressure. And you're sitting there. You got to keep your legs up. You got to put your legs down. You got to shift. You got to move. And you're doing this every 45 seconds to a minute. You're not comfortable.
right,
So
right,
why schedule us this time and
right.
tell us to be there at this time when you're not going to be there till way later?
And it's really hard because every time they do a test, they want my legs up. They want me. I mean, the only time since the accident that I have laid flat
Mm-hmm.
has been to do an
To do the
X-ray
test.
and to do the MRI.
Yep.
And both times I cried the whole time because my body has fractures in my back and fractures in my pelvis, and these are not positions
Right.
like my recliner. So, but I think
But yeah, going back to, I mean, this whole episode, for those that are in a DS dynamic, I mean, we talk about it almost every episode, the communication. You have to have the communication to even think about starting a BDSM relationship. And by having a clear line path for communication, it has helped us through this.
yes.
I mean, you are physically broken, but our DS is completely broken at the time as well. So, I mean, you've got the pain, you can't be a submissive, you've got all this stuff going on with you. And then, for me, I can't be a Dom. I can't give you a task. I can't, tell you go get me something to drink. I can't. And then, for me as a male, no sex. So we've got all of that going on. But again, you've seen it the other day, a couple weeks ago. I mean, I could feel it. I wasn't going to talk about it. You've got enough that you're having to worry about. I don't want you worrying about what's going through my mind or what I'm thinking about. But you took the time that day to tell me what's bothering you the most.
Yep.
And it's having that open door for that communication that has helped us in our DS dynamic.
Yeah, you were so
And
down that
yeah,
day. You
yeah,
were just, and I'm
I
like,
was
I can tell that it's something beyond me just being broken. What's going on
right,
mentally? What's weighing you down? Where can we improve it so that you don't feel so defeated
right,
in our relationship, like,
yep.
because it's,
And I mean, this obviously is a time where we both to have to say we've got to put it on pause. There may be times in your DS dynamic where only one of you needs to put it on pause, and that makes things totally different. But if you're in a DS dynamic and work is really stressing you out and it's causing panic attacks or it's causing health problems and you need to go to your dom or you need to go to your sub and say we got to put this on pause, it again, it goes back to the communication
right,
and the trust and the commitment between each other to be able to work that out. And there's nothing wrong at any given time saying, I need a pause from this. I need a break from this. I'm overwhelmed because of this, this, and this. It doesn't have to be a car crash that puts you down for a while. I mean, again, it could be a number of things.
right.
But the whole importance of this episode is to talk about our experience. This is the first time anything like this has happened since we've been together. So we're learning as we go
Yes.
and being able to share what we've learned and what we've done to maneuver around everything to
Some,
keep from causing a conflict or causing an argument or causing a disagreement, to tell you all what we do maybe it helps you, maybe it don't,
The
but
A big thing is I think a lot of times a submissive won't ask.
and they won't.
Like, they wouldn't turn to their dom and maybe not. I can't say a lot of times. I just know that in my past,
Right.
I would have been, my dom is supposed to be in control and he's
Right.
supposed to understand and he's supposed to, but that's not reality.
Right. It's not for a
And
lot.
so there are situations, which is why that day
Right.
I asked.
Which is
So,
why we also had the episode here a while back of what do you think it takes to be a good submissive? Not everybody's going to follow that. Not everybody's going to have those traits. The
right,
same as for me, what does it take to be a good Dom? You can be a good Dom and have only half of the shit that I listed.
right,
It's just depending on your partner may think you're the best damn Dom ever, and you may not have any of those traits. So it's all part of your dynamic.
right,
But in the end, a good Dom should be respectful, should be caring, should be willing to take care of their submissive, should have respect, should have honor, should have all this. And had I not had the respect and the self control, I probably would have got thrown out of U of L hospital. So, by having those things, to me, that's not only as a good Dom, but just as a good person in general.
yes,
And then for you, looking, the traits that you listed for being a good submissive, are those traits to only be a good submissive, or are that traits to be a good person?
right,
So, again, this is our opinion, this is our perspective,
yeah.
um, but it's how we try to treat people, and in hopes how they treat us back.
Yeah, there were times that it was hard, but
Yeah,
especially during this experience, but I really bit my tongue. You really bit your tongue.
almost in
And
half.
we get so much better response from people when
Right,
you handle it with respect and with understanding
right,
that they might be having a hard time too.
right.
So,
Yeah,
yeah, this has not been easy and it really frustrates me that it was one day I was perfect and
yep,
good and living life and busy, and then that night I'm in the hospital,
right,
no fault of my own, and
yep,
now we're just putting all the pieces back together.
yep. Which brings me to my last point before we end this podcast. We will never know what was going on in the vehicle that hit you.
Correct.
We will never know. So I don't want to speculate what they were doing. I'm not going to, but I can tell you I do a lot of driving, and I drive a truck, full size truck. And 85% of the vehicles, I'm taller than them. And I can see very easily into these vehicles. People, you got to put your fucking phones down.
Yep.
Out of every vehicle that passes me,
It's driving
or that
erratic or doing
or
something.
that I pass,
Yeah.
more than 90% of the people
Are
are on their phones.
touching their phones.
And
My phone gets put right in
yeah,
the little charging area, and I've
yeah.
got the
If I
screen for
can't
my.
if I can't do what I want to do hands free, it's going to wait till I get stopped.
Yep.
Which brings me to my next point. If you are at a stoplight, that is not the time to pull out your phone. The stoplight is going to turn green.
Yeah.
And nothing pisses me off more than to sit behind somebody for 30 seconds, watching them on their phone and not paying attention and going. But seriously, it's not just phones. I seen somebody the other day reading a
A
newspaper
newspaper.
while driving down the
I
interstate.
can't even.
I've
I saw
seen
that in.
I've seen people putting on their makeup. I seen a woman doing her eyeliner the other day. I've seen eyeliner, blush, lipstick. I've seen all of it from several different times. So it's not just cell phones.
Right.
It's reaching in the back seat, trying to grab something while
Piece of
driving.
paper, whatever.
Something fell in the floorboard, trying to grab it. You
Distracted
have
driving.
to stop being distracted while driving.
So I'm going to add to this because I completely 100% agree with you, but I also want to say that take a look at your insurance policy, because I will say that the minimum amount, and this is the state of Kentucky, and every state is different.
Yeah.
But the state of Kentucky only requires that a person carry $25,000 in medical injury
Mm-hmm.
part of their insurance. So the part of their insurance handling other people's medical injury, the minimum amount that is actual by law required in Kentucky is $25,000.
Yep.
Do you think my accident was all of that I've had done and the therapy coming up 25,000? No. So take a look at your own policy, because there is, in certain states, allowed uninsured, underinsured motorist that you can add to your policy. It costs money, but it covers
Right.
those things that aren't. So be aware of your policy in just a little bit more detail than just, hey, I'm covered. This is my
Double check for the rental insurance.
right. Being able to
if
get a rental
something
car.
happens to your vehicle, can you get a rental insurance? A rental
And those
car.
are only a couple of dollars more a month, like the rental.
But yeah, it's good to check your insurance.
Don't just go with the lowest amount because it's the cheapest for you right now, because there are so many accidents happening every single day.
Yep.
And now the accidents I'm seeing more and more tragedies, more and more permanent injuries and stuff. So take a look at it with an eye towards,
Yep.
if I get into a wreck,
Right.
do I have enough coverage for myself and my passengers, as well
Because
as
you want to look at it. The people that hit you may not have insurance, and if you have the bare minimum and they have nothing,
Yep.
you're going to have a whole lot of bills. So think of it as everybody else has zero insurance. What can I afford to cover for myself?
Yep.
That's the best way to look at that.
Yeah. So I mean, my world is different. Our world is different. And, but here's the thing, our DS dynamic is still in place. It's just not actively being followed, but it is in place.
Right.
It has caused me to take steps that I may not have to get myself better, because we live this life, right? And the fact that I know that it'll get put back together again.
We are way over on time.
Okay.
So we're going to end this episode here. We may come back in a few weeks, couple months, whatever, re-hit back on it, talk about where we're at, where we've added our DS back. We just kind of wanted to share our thoughts and our opinions on it,
And the story.
and the progress for you.
Thank you, everybody who has been rooting for me, praying for me, and sending me healing wishes. Keep doing it, because it's working.
Yep. You all on social media have rocked, because the comments, the messages have really been a blessing.
I will say that I missed one more thing. Because of that accident. Our friends, and they were on our podcast.
Yep. Loki and Christina
got married. I was supposed to be part of the wedding party, and I couldn't, because I couldn't handle walking it and being there and everything, because I'm healing. So I do want to give a shout out. They got married. They are now Mr. and Mrs., and it is amazing and wonderful, that journey. So we got to be part of all of it.
Yep. All right, guys. Till next time. Y'all have a good week.
Bye.
Send us a message. Give us more inspiration. Tell us what you would do different in your situation. We would love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
Y'all have a good week.
Please follow, like, and share our podcast.
Make sure to visit thedomlife.com where you can find pictures and other details about the Dom Life podcast. And through the Contact Us button, you can ask questions or provide recommendations for future episodes.
We want to explore your kink too.
Be sure to check out upcoming events to see where our adventures are taking us and our photo gallery to where we've been.
Thank you for joining us on this journey. We hope you had fun listening and learning with us.
Till next time, keep calm and remember your safe word.
Red, red, red.